So today I'll be trying out a new drugstore concealer. This is the e.l.f. 16-Hour Camo Concealer. And if you're new to my channel, I review new concealers all the time, and if you'd like to check out my playlist, the link will be in the description box below, or you can click right there. So this is being sold as a concealer that offers matte full coverage, and I'm not entirely sure how I feel about that because the skin under my eyes tends to be more on the drier side. It also says the 16-hour wear concealer features a large doe foot applicator to conceal, correct, contour, and highlight for flawless skin. The highly pigmented formula is lightweight, dries matte, and won't settle into fine lines or crease. Ideal for all skin types, the intense pigmentation is full coverage but won't settle into fine lines courtesy of its oil balancing formula that leaves behind a matte finish. So this concealer is available in 18 shades. You get 0.34 fluid ounces of product. I purchased the shade Medium Sand, which at first sounds dark, like way too dark for my complexion, but the colors when you look on the website are really misleading. The reason why I chose Medium Sand is I purchased this at Walmart and I was looking at shades that were lighter and they looked almost pure white. So when I was comparing shades in the store, this was the one that seemed to be closest to my complexion. This is the 8th lightest color available in the collection, and I don't think I've ever been the 8th lightest color ever. So it's a really strange shade range. So I would recommend that if you want to try this concealer out, try and find it in a store first rather than ordering it from the website. I was looking in the store at the colors that were lighter than this. There was one that looked way too pink. There was another one that it actually looked darker than this, which I thought was kind of odd. Some of the colors were really, really white. One kind of had a blue lilac tint to it. It was kind of weird. It's just so odd that you'll have a better chance of choosing the right color for you if you can find it in a store over the website. So if you're enjoying this video while you're watching it, don't forget to give it a thumbs up. If you want to know more about the e.l.f. Camo Concealer and how it wears throughout the day, don't go anywhere, just keep watching. So I'm also filming a video today for the Covergirl Outlast Active Foundation, which is why my face looks like this. If you'd like to watch that review, you can click the card right up there, or the link for that will be in the description box below. We had a storm last night and we lost some trees. So that horrible noise outside my window is a wood chipper. So I'm going to try and do my best to edit the noisy bits out. So I'm also dealing with some brutally dry under eye issues after a crazy cold and dry winter. Even though winter technically ended a month ago, my skin is still feeling the effects of it. So I've moisturized my under eyes with a little bit of the Ordinary's Rosehip Seed Oil. I'm prone to inner corner dryness, and this will give this concealer the best chance of working out for me. I also took a peek at the ingredients list. There's nothing in here that looks too incredibly funky. It's very much a heavy silicone base. The first ingredient is something called cyclopentasiloxane, which is a silicone that has more of a slippery feel to it. There's also PEG 10 dimethicone, another silicone. There's another silicone called trimethylsiloxate. There's sodium chloride, which isn't that table salt? That's interesting. Not really sure what added skin benefit that would have, but I don't think it would cause any sort of weird skin issues either. There is avocado oil, which is good for skin hydration. And there is kaolin clay, which tends to be in a lot of skincare masks that cause that drying, mattifying effect. So that has me a little bit concerned because it's just when it's used in skincare mask, I keep it far away from my under eyes because it can tug and pull that area, which is so delicate. So this is the packaging. They give you quite a fair amount in here, and it comes with this like giant doe foot applicator. It has that paint scent that Wet n Wild Photo Focus foundation has. So I'm not going to use a lot of it because I don't typically like a lot of concealer. That's usually about as much as I am willing to put on, because anything more I end up with a huge caking effect. So that's obviously the side without concealer, that's the side with. So it did a fairly good job at canceling out the purple that I have in the inner corner of my eye. In the tube it looked a little bit too light, but once I looked at the doe foot applicator I thought it might be too dark. However, now that I have it on, the color seems to be okay. I tend to prefer brighter under eye, but this is a color that I could probably get away with on days where I don't want to wear foundation, but I just need a little bit of help covering up the dark circles. All right, let's just get the other side completed. Whoa, no more dark circles. Now, I hardly used any product, and this completely canceled out those dark circles from hell. So although there are hydrating ingredients in this concealer does dry down to a matte finish. As long as it doesn't dry down any further, I'm okay with that. Right now, everything is perfect. My dark circles are nice and concealed. There's no caking issues happening. There's no clinging to inner corner dryness or anything. So I'm gonna go do the rest of my makeup. I'm gonna go on with my day, and then I will check in with you later on and let you know how this is holding up. So time is 5:52. It looks a tad bit dry under my eyes, but overall, it still looks pretty good considering I've had it on for about six hours. It's going on 7 hours now. 7.5 hours. I'm a little late checking in. There's a teeny tiny bit of dryness, but I mean, there's nothing that's magnified. Like, I don't see any huge honkin' dry patches. So I'll just zoom you in quickly and you can take a peek at my under eyes. So there's a little bit of dark circle coming through there. But other than like the little bit of lack of coverage there, both sides look really nice to me. The number one issue for me is when product starts to break up. I tend to get these really weird crusty dry patch things happening, and I don't seem to have that on either side. So that's where we're at this point. I will check in with you later tonight. So the time is 8:40. So let's take a peek at my under eyes. I really don't see anything wrong. Normally, if a concealer is not working for me at all, there's usually some caking happening in the corners, or there's some major dry patch clinging going on, and I'm really trying hard to find something, and I don't see a darn thing. The only area I see wrong is the area that I pointed out earlier, where like I see the dark circle is starting to expose itself. Yes, sir, we know you have an engine. But everything else still looks pretty good. So I will bring you in and you can take a peek. Yeah, it's starting to wear away a little bit, so the coverage isn't as good as it was earlier. But there's nothing breaking apart that I see. Like, there's no like caking or dryness issues happening. So this one is definitely a keeper, especially for the price point. It's hard enough to find concealers that work for my skin type, let alone concealers that are affordable and that work for my skin type. So this is definitely one I'm going to keep using. My only real complaint about this one is it goes back to the very bizarre shade range. If you want to try this out, I highly recommend you try and find it in a store first. I sat there with 6 different concealers comparing shades underneath those Walmart lights, and even I was struggling. Normally when I select a concealer, I'm usually the second or the third lightest shade. These were confusing. They had some very odd undertones. A good chunk of them looked pure white in the tube. So I would highly recommend that if you want to try this one out, don't order it from the e.l.f. website unless you are absolutely sure of what your shade is. So if you have any further questions about this concealer, just leave them in the comments section below. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, make sure you give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to hit subscribe before you leave. Thank you so much for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye!